Hey guys, this is Hanako, and for today I have a little bit different video planned for you. Instead of doing a normal TF2 commentary or maybe a griefing video, we're going to talk about the new Australium weapons and the Professional Killstreak weapons. So let's start with the less depressing of the two, and probably I guess the more accessible of them. That being the Professional Killstreak weapons and more specifically the Killstreak kits. Killstreak kits, unlike a Killstreak fabricator, are something that you can apply directly to a weapon. A Killstreak kit is far more valuable due to the fact that it is ready to be applied. While the price of Killstreak kits can vary wildly, the main factor is, of course, what weapon it's being applied to, followed by what effect it has, and lastly, what sheen. So ultimately, what determines the price of the Killstreak kit is the weapon. Is it applied to something that is completely worthless and that will never actually obtain a Killstreak kit, like the Rap Assassin and the Shahansha, or is it something that you're going to actually be getting massive kills with, like say the Kritzkrieg or the minigun? Recently I was lucky enough to get a Professional Killstreak minigun drop, and after quite a bit of research I found out that that was worth roughly between 2 to 4 bucks. And now we can move on to what the actual prices of these Killstreaks are and how it will change and what effect it will have on the economy. Firstly being that these kits are consumable. Unlike unusual hats that will stay around for eternity, people do not destroy them. These are meant to be applied to weapons that people will keep. People want to apply them to weapons that already have massive amounts of kills on them, to their epic weapons, their Hail Zone. Therefore, the supply of these kits will always be lower than the demand for them. And as such, your god tier kits, such as your miniguns or rocket launchers, will always be in a high demand. So I can feel safe in saying that the prices of 2 to 4 buds on these weapons, these kits, is going to stay around for a long time, and I think that is a very fair price for them. Now naturally, the obvious wild card in all of this is of course Valve. What could Valve do to affect the price of these? One thing they could do is they could lower the drop rates, so say it's much harder to come across a Shahansha Killstreak kit, therefore raising the price of them even though it is a shit tier weapon. Another option would be for them to introduce the crafting of specialized and professional Killstreak kits into a professional or specialized Killstreak kit fabricator. What this would do is lower the supply of, say, shit tier weapons like your Shahanshas and your Rap Assassins, and give you the chance at getting a better weapon. It could be anywhere from a minigun to another Rap Assassin. This would have many benefits on the supply, the demand, and the usefulness of those lower tier weapons. By lowering the supply, the demand will become higher, but at the same time, the risk of doing so, you're sacrificing 3 professional Killstreak kits as opposed to fabricators, will deter people from overcrafting. And at the same time, it will give you the option of getting a better weapon, but is by no means a guarantee, so the price of those high tier and god tier weapons will stay consistent. This breathes life into those low tier weapons and also gives people the ability to feel like they have some kind of control over their drop rates. They get 3 of these kits, they can upgrade them to something better. They have the chance to become more. Now let's get everybody's jimmies in a bunch and start talking about Australian weapons. The general price based on Outpost is anywhere from 1.5 to 3 buds depending on that weapon. The price of this is due to low drop rates similar to that of unusual hats, which is roughly 1%. And another thing is the obvious status symbol of having a golden weapon. You also see people on servers, when they see these weapons they gather around because they have not yet actually laid their eyes on them in game, which adds a certain kind of mystique and value to that is hard to kind of pin down. However, how will the price of these change over time? I currently believe that the value of these Australian weapons will drop to roughly half of their current price, so about 0.7 buds to about 1.5 to 2 buds. This is because unlike professional Killstreak kits, Australian weapons are non-consumable and will always be in-game, continuing to be dropped for however long Valve deems it to be necessary. The supply will continue to grow, however the demand for them will drop. Once these weapons become more common, once people have seen them and they're not as new anymore, the demand will fall. People won't see them as anything any more special than, say, a gold bot killer weapon or even a diamond weapon. There are certain things that Valve could do to stop this drop in price, and I believe they're trying to do something about that so they don't have more of these gold bot killer weapons that are not as valuable as they used to be. The first thing that Valve could do is just discontinue the drop of Australian weapons right off the bat. This appeals to that basic human instinct of that we want only what we cannot have. This will cause the price to rise in a very similar way to the original strange festive weapons and even, say, like the strange Kritzkrieg. The last thing that Valve could do is to institute a dynamic drop rate, something along the lines of a half-life curve. So as more of these weapons are introduced, it becomes harder and harder for someone to obtain them through random drops. This works very similar to Bitcoin in that it will reach a point in which it is much easier to go out and buy an Australian weapon than it is to try and gamble away to obtain one. The initial effect in this would be price consistency, followed by a rise in prices where these items would become more and more difficult as it is harder and harder to obtain them. So that's the end of my ramblings on Australian weapons and professional killstreak weapons. Please subscribe, like, favorite, and be sure to share this if you thought it was informative at all. Please leave feedback. I appreciate anything you guys have to say to me. Thanks for watching.